What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network, along with Chris, the Sports Flash, BX Sports Jedi, Bronx Bomber Strike Back podcast. Chris, happy holidays. First and foremost, how are you, buddy?
Happy holidays, Kev. I'm under the weather, but I'm gonna push through it on the screen. How everybody doing in the chat?
All right. Let's go to the roads in the words of Cody Rose. So, what do you want to talk about? The big one. Finally, we get an answer with Yamamoto goes to Hollywood. So Yamamoto decides to take the Dodgers. Like, listen, I hope Yamamoto enjoyed the cuisines that he had at Steve Cohen's house. The meal that the Yankees offered him twice, because he met with the Yankees twice. Steve Cohen flew and made him waste a lot of money in jet fuel, heading out there to Japan. This guy had no intentions of coming to the East Coast, and to me, it's Festivus. He aired out his grievances, and he sided with the Dodgers at the end of the day. I'm not going to sit here to take a victory lap, but you know it, Chris. I've been telling you that. I wasn't a fan. I didn't like a guy who's 5'9", who pitches every 6 days, and the baseball is a different baseball. It's a smaller ball. If you look at his, I know he's the equivalent of the Cy Young Award. The one thing I give credit to Yamamoto, he's 25 years old. I said if the Yankees were to, me personally, I was okay with it. If they signed him as a free agent, I wouldn't go past 7 years max. But 12 years, Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 12 years is a little bit steep. I'm surprised the Yankees went 10. I can't get mad at Brian Cashman in the house for not getting the deal done, because like there was a post saying that he told his friends that he wanted to be a Dodger anyway. So I just feel like all the beat writers was wrong, saying, oh, this and this and this, but apparently he played us just to get leverage for the Dodgers.
I mean, that's the art of free agency, though. You have all these free agency. They meet with other teams. They want to feel special. They want to get wine and dine. They want to feel appreciated by other clubs. They want to see how bad other clubs want them, their services, their talent, their skill set. I'm not going to get too mad with that, Chris. Because if you just got to make your due diligence, and you have to make your decision, you have to make your dot your I's, cross your T's. When you make a contract, I understand that he has 2 opt-out clauses, but for the Dodgers to play $325 million for a player, again, who has not thrown a pitch in the major league level, and again, I don't think he's not going to be a terrible pitcher either. I'm not saying that he's going to be garbage. I'm not saying that he's going to be Kanagawa or Masei Dasakaka. I call him Masukaka, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know me. I always try to
be. I got you.
Yeah, I like to say Masukaka in Spanish. It's garbage. But I think he's going to be a good pitcher. I think he's going to be a good pitcher. But here's the thing where I'm excited that the Yankees dodged this bullet. It's a blessing in disguise. And I'll tell you why. I'm not crapping on or taking away from the Japanese league. But all the Japanese teams that are part of that make up that wonderful league, they don't have the advanced scouting or the finances to pay for these advanced scouts as the major league ball clubs. Yes, even the Athletics have really good scouts because they have to draft and they have to find these diamonds in the roughs all across the United States, all across the country, in Central South America, Central the Caribbean, Central America, South America. They have to go find these players, and teams invest in their scouting, advanced scouting. Also, when you go to series on all MLB teams, these scouts are phenomenal. And I know how much we dislike analytics and all that, cyber matrix and all, but but Major League ball clubs have hell of scouts, Chris. You don't think they're going to figure out or make the adjustments on Yamamoto? And you know what? And again, doesn't mean he's gonna get bombed, but it's up to him now to change his style of pitching. And if he's used to the Japan, it could be a culture shock, especially with the media, the way New York is. If you walk off the mount incorrect, they're booing you and they're coming down on you. Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't take long for the major league scouts to pick up, what you're doing, what's your tendencies on certain pitches and stuff like that. But that's his job to figure that out and try to, navigate to be like, okay, let me change this up, let me change this sequence up, stuff like that. But I think he's gonna be straight. Like I said, I'm not gonna be one of these fans poo-pooing what the Dodgers are doing because we was doing that for years. Now it seems like it's the Dodgers' turn now to spend money and get the best players. But that doesn't mean they're guaranteed a championship.
Oh no, I agree with you there, and I want to put a little pushback on when people say, well, the Yankees used to do that as well. The Yankees, when they signed everyone they wanted to, they make sure they pay their person per year at that year. They're not going to say, "Well, I'm going to pay your salary on layaway plan for 25 years later." We're going to extend it. You're going to give you 2 million now, but we're going to give you a layaway plan for later. I owe you in the cookie jar. No, the Yankees, when they wanted a player, they wanted to pay them. They pay them right there, right at the moment. You're gonna make 60 million. I'm being exaggerated, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that. We're gonna pay you this amount, Steinbrenner, George. We're gonna pay you this much. We're gonna pay you this now, this year, till the years you're here. And if you suck, you know what? Go away. I'll eat the money. Get out of my face. No, the Dodgers is deferring it for later down the road, just in case in the cookie jar. I owe you. Typical Dumb and Dumber situation, by the way. Somebody's been watching Dumb and Dumber, but you know what? You can't hate the Dodgers for that because now that allow them. Not only that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Dodgers spent so far $1.2 billion in free agency right now. $1.2 billion. You cannot say I can't hate them for that because they're spending, but they have not won a championship since '88. I don't care what you tell me about that COVID. That's a COVID ridden World Series. I'm not counting it. I'm sorry. That's okay. Everyone says you want to be like the Dodgers. I'm sorry. I'd rather take the Yankee franchise right now. I know people poo-poo or roll their eyes of the 30 years over 500, since 1991, 92. They're always in the postseason. They're about to strike. You know what? And maybe call me Yankee Homer. I'd rather be the Yankees in this situation than the Dodgers. That's just me. I mean, what's your thoughts there? I mean, you could disagree.
I mean, look, I'm not certain stuff. I might disagree with you with the whole Yamamoto thing and everything, but this I'm not gonna disagree with you about. Like, first of all, Tyler Glass now can't stay healthy. That like everybody keeps saying he needs to change his name to Glass now because he is a piece of glass just waiting to break. And then Otani can't stay healthy as a pitcher either. So I mean, how long that's gonna last? And just like every other Japanese pitcher, I mean, Yu Darvish, Otani, Tanaka. Well, Tanaka didn't get the surgery, but they usually start falling apart and they need Tommy John. So, I mean, technically, we haven't really spent any money this offseason.
No.
Now, like I told other people, I'm not mad that we didn't get on, Yamamoto. But if we don't do nothing else, then yes, I'm going to get pissed. That's going to be the problem.
Well, you have to be smart. When the Yankee organization, and I got to give them credit. as much as I personally did not want Yamamoto when his name came up, because I have a stereotype when it comes to the pitching from Japan, and I hate it because of the baseball. It's a smaller. I said it. I mentioned it on the earlier video, not to sound redundant or in circles. Here's the one thing that the Yankees right now, as we stand currently right now, couple days before Christmas, their rotation is Nestor Cortez, Garrett Wright, Clark Schmidt, and Rodon. They're missing a number 5, and actually they're gonna need a number 6 starter if you wanted to go that route. If you look at the free agent pool, not a lot really to pick up or want to sign. That we're gonna talk about what's next move here before we wrap up the Yamamoto situation and my feeling with the Yankees. I actually am surprised they actually went 10 years. They were giving him a higher annual value, 30 million a year, more than what he's going to make with the Dodgers. The only difference is the Dodgers added 2 more years to the contract. He's going to have 2 opt out. But here's the thing that no one's speaking about. There's also going to the Japanese club $50 million posting fee that the Dodgers is sending to the Japanese club that he's coming from. So you're looking at $375 million for a guy who has not thrown a pitch in the major league at all. Don't know if the first year if it's going to be a culture shock, or he might just not adjust well.
Well, you forgot one more thing too, Kev.
Good.
He got a $50 million signing bonus too.
Correct. So you're looking at $400 million. Now that's great for the upcoming free agent pitchers because he just set a bar for agents to. That's why a lot of movement hasn't happened in Major League Baseball free agency because they were waiting for Shohei Ohtani to see what his number was, who was going to bite and who was going to offer for that money, and they wanted to see then Yamamoto. Now everything else is going to come into place. Now certain agents, certain pitchers know what they're going to ask. And by the way, I think 170 innings is what Shohei Ohtani gives you. I mean, we're comparing the numbers with Glass now and actually Snell and Yamamoto. The numbers are almost the same. We go now. Where did the Yankees pivot? Obviously, we know they still need to sign pitcher or make a trade. Let's go with the free agent route first. But before I go there, any final thoughts on the Yamamoto before we close that down? He's a Dodger. He's got 2 opt-outs. And, so there's everyone saying I don't think he's going to make it to the 12 years because he gets opt out. Personally, if he pitches well and he's going to go above and beyond expectation, he will opt out to make more money. That's my opinion, Chris. But if he fails or he struggles or he needs injury ridden, he's going to opt in and they're going to have to pay him because he's not going to be foolish to opt out where there's guaranteed money sitting there on his table. So that's a slippery slope, Chris.
Yeah, and I hope he knows we do play them in June. So get ready, bro, because you about to get booed out the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's before we close it, let's talk about the Mets real quick. Yes, we are Yankee fans, and yes, Chef Dan, my partner on the channel, is a Met fan. I'm gonna put on a little bit of a Met homer or a Met hat for now. Just forgive me. Let's pretend it's a Nick hat. As a matter of fact, here I'm gonna put the visual. I'm gonna wear the Nick hat, but I'm gonna talk as a Met advocate. There we go. Chris,
well, same color.
Everyone gets upset with Steve Cohen that he should be blowing everyone out of the water with the offer. The guy flew to Japan. He showed the player that he wanted him on his franchise. That's one. I know Brian Cashman also went to Japan, saw him pitch the perfect game. Was it a lot? He had scouts in all his starts. I get it. They showed love. You don't hear any Dodger, no Dodger love whatsoever. But again, money talks. That's why money talks. Nonsense walks. As a Met, he hosted him in his house. Steve Cohen probably told him, "This is what I want to offer you." The only difference is Steve Cohen, and he knows what he's doing. He must have perceived or felt that Yamamoto did not want to have no intentions to play on the East Coast or in New York, period. Because if you're in his house and you're having dinner and I know he's gonna give him that offer, what do you want? And he didn't sign with the Mets right there and then. It showed when he left Cohen's home, he showed that he didn't want to play here. And then he met with the Yankees again to maybe see, the Mets offer me this, and see if the Yankees will come up with it. He leveraged. He did smart move. You know what? I can't fault Steve Cohen because everyone's getting mad on Cohen. Oh, he came in here with these deep pockets. Last year, he signed the top 2 free agents. He and I know they didn't work out in Verlander and Scherzer. I get it, but he did spend a lot of money for that team. For him, and Met fans are irate or bothered. They're not going to do nothing, but he has 300. He's already close to $298 million already invested. And granted, it's not a good team, but I mean, I don't. As a Met fan, for a Met advocate here, I don't know why the fans are getting so irate with him on there. They wanted to get rid. You wanted Buck Showalter, the man got you Buck. You wanted him gone, they got him gone. That you wanted David Stern, he went and got David Stern. He got you everything that the Met fans want. The owner's trying to please the team, and yet the fans still wants to attack the owner. But he's trying to pay. He's not going to spend. That's just on the Mets thing with Steve Cohen. If you're the owner, do you think he did anything wrong, Steve Cohen? I mean, I know we're Yankee fans again, and those that are just tuning in and saying, "Why are they talking Mets when they got a Yankee shirt?" It's just I'm just want to see the all different side of the argument for this Yamamoto saga.
No, be honest with you, be happy he didn't offer full 100. I mean, the way he was giving on contract last year, like that's why he hired a more competent GM to talk him off the edge. Like, dude, you can't give him this much money because you're gonna piss a lot of people off. So I feel like he did a good job. I mean, like you said, he probably figured out that Yamamoto didn't want to come to the East Coast or to any of the 2 New York teams. And I'll say this: y'all so busy, y'all want Cohen to sign all these free agents, but y'all don't want to keep y'all dude Pete Alonso because he's looking for an extension. I'm just saying.
He's gonna get. I think Cohen's gonna keep him, but it isn't smart for him to extend him now. What the Mets are doing with him and is dangling the carrot. The carrot in front of the horse or the donkey to move so they can move and get you going, and that's what the Mets are doing. And that's okay with that. There's nothing wrong. And it's a slippery slope though, Chris, because if someone else blows him out of the water or he feels slighted, then he'll leave. But at the end of the day, if it's the Bernie Williams situation, when Bernie, there was all that talk, he was going with Buck Showalter in Arizona. He was leaving, and then the Red Sox offered that, and then he asked George, "Listen, the Red Sox offered me this," and George matched that, and I think he added a couple $1 more. Let's just for argument's sake, I don't have the story correct, so don't
Yeah.
But it was little. It was either the same amount as the Red Sox or more, just by a little bit, and he's still with the Yankees. I think Steve Cohen does the same thing with Pete Alonso, because Steve Cohen gets it. He's an owner who gets it. He's a fan, but a fan who is intelligent with business wise. He's a hedge fund guy. He knows how to win. He knows how to make calculated risks. He sees things that we don't, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be where he sits there as a billionaire. It would have been just with us, doing a podcast, maybe. I'm just being facetious. So that I can't get mad with the Mets. I can't get mad with the Yankees at all. For how the only thing I do say that I know he's going to get ridiculed for, while this negotiations happen, he is out on a yacht in the Caribbean. That looks a little bit, because you never used to hear George, and I hate to say that. Well, George is somewhere, last year he was in Italy when it was the Judge situation. That's a little worrisome to me, Chris, because I want you. I'm not saying he has a right to go on vacation. He's rich. He will go anytime. Absolutely, you are. You're correct. But there's a time and place, and man, to me it sounds tone deaf that you're in the middle of free agency on your franchise that just missed the postseason. and the fan base is going nuts. Your ticket sales are at 40%. Still haven't sold out. You still got 40% of your season tickets are available for the Yankees. Yes, you got us Juan Soto, but there's a mission here to be done. There'll be plenty of time to go on vacation in January when there's nothing to do. By the way, the weather's nasty in New York, and it just that's the only negative that I'm gonna have here with how it just shows a little bit tone deaf not being around, and also it makes sense now why they didn't do any press. One thing I miss about the Yankees, I don't know because it was COVID or what. When you get players like a Soto, Verdugo, can we have a press conference at Yankee Stadium introducing them, giving them the jerseys like we used to do, so they could feel special? They missed out here on making Juan Soto feel really warm and feel um bienvenido, welcome aboard by giving him that jersey on a December day in Yankee Stadium, have him there, introduce him to the fan base, to not the fans, the media, and have the questionnaires with the people in the room. Not someone. I mean, for this, we could just have him come on here and talk to Soto. That's what it felt like. It felt like a podcast instead of this, and the Yankees should be a little more and beyond. I don't know if it's because they did. Look what they did with Shohei Ohtani. They had a podium. They had the stadium, and they even had a lady underneath the podium, on her knees for the guy. I mean, come on.
Well,
That's a Police Academy reference if anyone remembers that movie. Get Chris.
I think they will do the whole jersey thing. I think they're just waiting to see, because I think they want to do it all together. Like, and that's why I have an idea of, like, I think they're gonna get bigger names to go pair
Okay.
with Soto, and I think they're gonna do, like, how '09 they had CC and AJ together. I think that's what's gonna happen, because you can't. I'm sorry, COVID is gonna happen regardless. So I'm just gonna say this: NBA does it, NFL does it. So if the Yankees don't do the tradition where you introduce the player and they wear that's the best part. You get to wear the jersey. Like, you can't take that away from Soto. And I just think that was happening because they were dealing with Yamamoto, and then Soto was in his hometown and stuff like that. So I think once everything gets together, I think they're gonna have a actual press conference with the jersey.
That's why I set you up there. If I was a point guard, I would have got an assist there, setting you up on that with that question there, so you could give me that response. So, and we didn't talk about this. We just came on and that was a perfect setup there for the next thing. Since they didn't do that press conference, that's why I brought that up with the Verdugo and Soto not seeing them in Yankee Stadium with the jersey. There's going to be more moves, Yankee fans. There's going to be moves. It might not be the sexiest. It might not be the ones we want or you want, but they're going to make moves to upgrade and make this team better. And I know right now they already they like you said, Chris, they didn't spend $1 in free agency yet, but they already upgraded in positions of need in the outfield. You have an outfield of Verdugo, you have Judge. You have Stanton. Yes, Stanton. I'm counting on Stanton as well as Soto. You have Dominguez coming at the end of the year if he's not traded, coming up, and you still have players in the minor. You got Gonzalez, and you have both Gonzalez's now. They signed another Gonzalez into the minor league
Mhm.
system for depth in the outfield. The Yankees are making some moves here, but they're not complete. As we speak here on the 22nd of December, they're not a complete ball club. We know that they're going to go for more pitching. Now, how they're going to go for the pitching, we don't know. Do they see where they could sign a Blake Snell? A lot of folks are saying, please don't. No, thank you. Personally, I won't remind them passing on Snell. I really want to see Blake Snell. Um, as a free agent pitcher out there, I wouldn't mind bringing Montas on a prove it deal. That doesn't mean we stop there, Yankee fans. That's a lot. That's a fifth starter or a sixth where you could put Clark Schmidt maybe in the bullpen. Let him and Montas and Schmidt fight for that last rotation in the spot. Any free agent pitcher that we see on the market here entices you for the Yankees to bring in.
Um, Probably. I know you just said his name, but it all depends on the years. I wouldn't mind Blake Snell joining the
Okay.
Yankees. He's a lefty. Yankees already talking about a super bullpen, so he doesn't go. Some games he probably go like 5 or 6 innings. So if we got a super bullpen, it wouldn't matter, especially with Boone too. So it definitely wouldn't matter. Um, I mean, he pitched in the AL East before, so he's used to that.
Right.
He's used to the big stage. He was actually mad at the coach for taking him out the World Series. So I mean, I wouldn't have a problem. It's just the years. I, I'll sign him to like a 5 year deal, but anything past 5 years, I do not want to touch.
Now you saw what Yamamoto got 30 million or 27 million, excuse me. Let's say 5 years at 25 per. You think he go for it?
It depends. It depends on what teams are trying to get his services. I mean, everybody keeps saying he's a West Coast person. I'm telling you right now, he ain't going to the Dodgers. If he wants to lose, I guess he can go to the Angels. So the only team I can see like him going to is maybe his hometown in Seattle. But Seattle got enough pitching. So I mean, who else? I'm not. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. Who else will buy for his services? The Giants, because the
They got
Giants
a
made
lot of
money.
money, but they got a lot of
Yeah,
money. They could overpay because
yeah,
they've been
overpay. I guess.
missing
Yeah.
they've been missing on a lot of free agents that, and they have the money. They have a lot of money where they need to bring people in, and they might just overpay for Snell to go there because they gotta show their fan base. They gotta bring someone in to break that ice. Right
Yeah.
now, the Giants. I'm glad you mentioned the Giants because they're like right now like we're in a situation like a Mets where they got money, they got a rich owner, or they got money to spend, and teams and free agents or players for some reason are not pivoting to those teams. They're leaving them at the altar. So I'm glad you mentioned the Giants there. I could see the Giants if they really want to, change their narrative. They might overpay for a Snell, and I think that might be a
Hmm.
good landing spot for him, financially wise. But you know me, I like the lefties. I've said that with Jordan Montgomery. I was very upset when he got traded away for Hader. I've mentioned it many times. I always say Yankee stadiums, you need a good, strong left-handed pitching, especially to neutralize the short porch and use that long Death Valley in your stadium to an advantage when you want a big right-handed lineup against your lefty. That's why Pettit was very good. Guidry, we said this before countless of time on different podcasts. Here's the way I'm looking at pitching, Chris, and again, not to sound redundant with the Yamamoto thing. When I look at who the Yankees should go for and what's available, I want someone who, when I look at a Vegas odds, I go, Vegas, who has odds to win a Cy Young award year after year, consistency, and these 5 to 7 names come up that might win a possible Cy Young award because Vegas and Major League Baseball and Scout says this guy has great stuff. You get names like Dylan Cease on there. You get names like Corbin Burns. You even get even Shane Beaver at a time. You know, those are the kind of names that I want to see. Even Blake Snell, he's a name that will come up on a Cy Young Award odds. You will get odds on him winning a Cy Young Award. One of the I'm going top 7, and I'm going to even appease you top 10 possibilities of winning a Cy Young Award in Major League Baseball, either in 2023, 2024, or we could go even back as 2022. Let's play that game. Who and if those names are available, Chris, for the Yankees via trade or free agency, you gotta kick the tires, listen, and make your due diligence on should you bring him and does he make a good fit to your ball club. That's why I bring case in point Dylan Cease, Corbin Burns. If you want to give up and go after those guys, I'd rather have them a proven commodity because Vegas told me they could pitch in the Major League Baseball and they're going to win one of the highest honors in Major League Baseball as a pitcher on your ball club than someone who's never pitched before in the Major League Baseball and you're giving him over 300 million. That's why I was never in favor of getting Yamamoto, and I've said it many times, not because they were burned today here on the 22nd, and he chose the Dodgers. Chris knows, and I've said it many times, even on the live stream before the season ended. I'm not interested in Yamamoto. I've said it, and because I have a funny feeling. That's all it is. I could be totally wrong, and you could come back and say and listen. If he wins 2 Cy Young awards in 5 years in the Major League Baseball, I'll definitely, you know what? I'll eat the crow. I'll even say I was totally wrong, boy. I don't know crap about base of sports, and I will admit it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I just have that conviction. That's just a conviction. Um, do you like what's out there? I said Corbin Burns. Give me Corbin Burns.
I mean, free agent wise, like I said, if it ain't Snell, I'm sorry, I don't want nobody else. If it ain't Snell, I don't want nobody else. Trade
Okay.
wise, there is a lot more out there. I mean, like you said, they got Corbin Burns, Shane Bieber, Cease. Then you got the Miami Marlins. And look, speaking of the Giants, now this is just a rumor, but it nine out of 10 times it's probably true. The rumor is that if the Giants get Snell, they are willing to trade the young lefty Kyle Harrison. He's 22 years old. Um, I don't know why would they do that, but
Why would they do that?
yeah, I just don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe because Snell's a lefty and he's a little bit more proven. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of. But you got to look at stuff like that. Then Houston is dangling. What's his name? The 30-year-old. That's good. I think he's a lefty.
Not
Uh,
Valdez. Not
yeah,
Valdez.
yeah, they
Valdez.
dangling him.
Huh.
So there's pitchers out there that you could trade for, and Valdez is good. So it can't be no, oh no, Houston. No, Houston probably is trying to recoup some of the money that they spent, and then they still got to, in a year or two, still got to extend Kyle Tucker. So that's probably what they're thinking. But
Okay.
I like I'm gonna keep saying this because I'm Matt Blake, and at one point you did like him, but
Yes. And I'm
I
with
feel
you.
like yeah, and it's beatable to me. And you can trade
Yeah.
for Class A. So
Yeah.
you kill two birds with one stone.
I agree. Especially and Chris, I agree with you. I always like the Shane Beaver. I thought he's been
Hmm.
though he is not the number one or even number two
No.
right now, but the Yankees right now really they actually need a number two starter. Be a proven number two starter, but who could slide down to a number three. And I know I'm gonna sound like Omar Minaya when he did that we need a number one, then we really need number five. Those that get it. But we don't know. Rodon is a big mystery. We don't
Hmm.
know if he's going to come back strong, healthy. He might have issues. He might just not get his footing correctly in New York. Hopefully we're wrong. I hopefully he bounces back lovely. Makes me look foolish. Like I said, I think it was a bad mistake. I want Rodon to work out. As much as I don't say, I was correct. I want him to work out because you know what? Enough already. We need a strong, reliable pitching, and we needed to move forward. Nestor Cortez is another wild card. I think he's gonna be fine too. Another lefty, I think he's gonna be fine. I think it was the just hangover, too many innings, getting his body acclimated, getting ready. Um, I like the Beaver, Shane Beaver coming to New York because Terry Francona is no longer the manager for the Guardians. He's retired. You have a new manager. I don't know if Chernoff, the general manager, is going to stick around as general manager with the Guardians after the season. They're in a transition stage. They're gonna need more prospects. Some of the prospects that they have good pitching prospects, but some of their hitting prospects haven't panned out for the major league level for them. Gonzalez is no longer there. They thought he was big. Fermio Reyes didn't work out for them, who was supposed to be this big bopper for them in that middle of the lineup. They need outfielder. They need outfield help. If you're Beaver Class A, might you, and this is what I ask Yankee fans. I know we have to give up some of our prospects to bring in something big like this back in a blockbuster with the Guardians. It might take that. Maybe a Spencer Jones. And I know everyone says Spencer Jones, he looks 6'10". This guy's 6'10", man, from the left side. I would love to hold on to him, but if we're looking to go for it, where we're gonna get a bona fide closer in Class A who could throw over 101 miles an hour with a Beaver who's a number three starter, with reuniting with Matt Blake, where he won a Cy Young Award as his pitching coach, and he knows how to mechanic wise help him get him and going there. Chris, that sounds so enticing. I know Peraza might be. You might have to give up your one Peraza and maybe two of your top 10 minor league players to attain those two in a blockbuster. Maybe some other stuff for some money, but that's enticing, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, you might not even have to give us Spencer Jones. I mean, you still got Everson Pereira. You know, he's up there, and you know, in our top 10.
Yes.
So I mean, you never know, but you got to do it because even though Shane B was going to be a free agent after next year, Class A still got 5 years of control. That's a lot of control for a
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah. You agree? I agree with that. With the because you killed, like you said, we go to one. It's kind of like a one-stop shop to go
Hmm.
get that. Go get the closer and a starter. And if you want, and then go. What about if you lose Peraza and Everson Pereira? You could always go get a third baseman on a 1 year deal. Like I saw Turner's name thrown out there, but I don't. It's like I already been burned with Josh Donaldson. I'm afraid of bringing that 35-year-old plus to play third base. That you're like, that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of my hairs in the back of my neck. Just stands with that. But that's will be interesting with the Guardians if they want to pivot and do that for Francona. Now let's talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. They have a first year manager coming in there. The Brewers always are around in that division to possibly win the division, fight for that wild card. They're going to be competitive, but with the emergence of the Cincinnati Reds and Pittsburgh, you could tell Pittsburgh is going to be another bottom dweller. They didn't do nothing. They haven't spent. They haven't spent to improve their club. They're bringing back the same product again. The Cubs, they try to get better, but they're right now they're losing Stroman. Stroman's not returning. They're losing pieces on their team. My point is of all this exercise with St. Louis, I think Brewer fans, Brewer Nation, or Brewer management want to give a winning product to their new manager, get them on a good foot, and I think they'll hold Burns. I think Burns will be a trading deadline piece. What you think? You think because they say you could get more before the season start, which is true, but I think they want to go into the season to try to set their manager in the right direction. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, I'll say this, and the first person I brought this up was Uncle Tats from Pinstripe Chronicle. He said he could see Burns as the Luis Castillo of the trade deadline, which
He's correct.
I mean, yeah, like y'all might be right. And speaking of Pittsburgh, everybody knows Pittsburgh ain't gonna do nothing besides Pittsburgh. I'll say this: y'all not going nowhere. I'm sorry. Trade David Bednar, please.
They're not doing it.
No.
They need something. They need people at least to get. They need something there to at least get people to their to their stadium. I know, and they need Bentnar. They have Cruz. Is it Cruz? O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, O'Neal Cruz.
They have Cruz.
Keep Brian Hayes.
They got the one guy that everybody was going bananas last year. The Brian Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds. Yeah.
They got something there. They're gonna field something there. And they're hoping that some of these kids just take a next step. Pittsburgh, I don't think Pittsburgh will make a move there. Now, if they're really dog bad, could you see a Bentnar at the trading deadline be moved? Of course. Everyone says that the big at off season trades they should move it, but you're right now. Just think about this, Chris. Everybody has a clean slate. Everybody is 0-0 right now. Everybody has a chance to win the World Series right now. Every team, even So why would you? Yeah, why would you do something? Why would you move some players right now where they could? They of course some of those might be delusional. Like some of the Pittsburgh think them. You never know. Baseball's funny. My point. No one expected the Arizona Diamondbacks to get to where they were last year. How deep they ran. And remember, this is a team that finished way below the Dodgers. So, Lamario, what's going on, Lamario? Salute.
What's up, Lamario?
Yeah, so that's why I say that. Now let's go to the White Sox. First and foremost, before the winter meetings going on, the GM meetings and the owner meetings, they said they weren't trading Dylan Cease. Now his name is coming up again. is this the media pushing something, or you think there's a change of heart in Chicago?
I think they're trading Cease.
Okay.
Like a rebuild, they definitely rebuilding. I mean, they're not bringing back, Tim Anderson. If you look at their pitching staff, they had Dylan Cease, Lucas Giolito, and Carlos Rodon. Two of those are already gone. So, I mean, why not try to trade Cease and see what you can get?
That's another one, and that's not going to cost the Yankees a lot of prospect. You're going to lose maybe Everson Pereira, and maybe a someone in your top 10, in your 10, like a 10 Class A type of pitcher or prospect there. It's not going to take. Be honest with you, to bring in to get a Cease to New York. It just makes me wonder with the White Sox why they're spinning the wheels.
Yeah.
That's all, and that's not for us to worry about because we're not White Sox fans. We couldn't care less. Just give me the player to me. And sometimes that's my problem. Sometimes I'm trying to put myself in like on the other side of the shoes. Like I told you before, back to Yamamoto. Even with Yamamoto, why would the Japanese league let go of a 25-year-old prominent player to come to the major leagues and not hold him for another 5 more years and let him come in here right before he's 29, before he turns 30? And let him, finish his twilight in the major leagues. I just thought it was a little. I just looked the other side, but for the White Sox, why would you let go of Cease, man? That's like their only ace there in a Central Division where they could be right into it. You see, they were flirting. Was it the year before that they were right there?
Yeah.
It's those are the questions I put up, and I maybe I overthink. Hello, Maria. Maria joining us on the
What's up, Maria?
Instagram app. Macy says, hello, good friends, and a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Maria.
Merry Christmas, Maria. But I don't know if it's just me, and this is where Cashman needs to get creative. There is somebody that I would want from the White Sox, and a lot of people brought him up. He's young. He's a lefty. He's a power arm lefty. I brought this up on my video, too. If you're going to get Cease, you might as well get the best bullpen help that they got, too. And that's Garrett Crochet.
Okay, Crochet. Yeah, I remember you mentioned his name before during the regular season as well. Again, that's another one-stop shop. I even throw this in here. I know he's been underachieving with the White Sox. Mojica at third base. You get another young Moncada.
Yeah.
You could put Moncada into third base, and if you want to make a real blockbuster, if you get Moncada, you bring in Cease, and you said Crochet. Maybe you might want to get rid of. Maybe you might want to include a Spencer Jones in that deal, and with a Peraza, and you talk about that because then you got something there. Because you have a third baseman now, a young third baseman who's been a proven major league hitter. Peraza might be a better defensive third baseman, but he's not the hitter as Moncada. And I don't know. That's what you call a major blockbuster move. And if the Yankees do that and they stay pat and maybe sign a reliever like a Jordan Hicks, you're going. That's a good team. Listen, the teams that have gone to the World Series, if you look at it, it's been hitting teams. And you need clutch hitting, you need timely hitting, you need good hitting team and a strong bullpen. And I know the days of the starting look, the Atlanta Braves had the best starting pitching in you could say in Major League Baseball history. How many World Series they won? Yes. You need good hitters. You need good situational hitters. You don't need a team of home run and mashers. You need good hitting, situational hitting at the right time. And you see that. You saw the Arizona Diamondbacks were a couple games away winning a World Series. A couple games in the series because they played fundamental baseball. If I tell you, can you name me 2 starting pitchers from the Arizona Diamondbacks right now? I couldn't tell you I can name one. Be honest with you. I can't. I cannot.
Gallon, and I think there's another one named Kelly. I think that's the only 2 I know.
I can't. And they were National League champions.
And not only that too, you was talking about the Braves. People also forget that the Phillies had 3 good pitchers too. They had Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee, and Roy Halladay all together, and they didn't win nothing. So
You do need you. You knew. It doesn't mean that we're gonna be tone
no.
deaf either and say no. We don't need you. Yes, Yankees do need pitching. Baseball,
Hmm.
you need pitching. Yes, you need reliable pitchers that throw the baseball every 5 days. Will Star, salute Will Star.
What's up,
How are
Will?
you, Will? Yes, we're
Chris.
discussing that as we speak right now, Mister Will. We're actually putting a little bit of Christmas wish here. Thank you for joining Chris's channel, and we appreciate it. And all here on the Sports Jedi Network. Chris, that's your guy there. You want to answer his question?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Let me look at it because I'm on the phone. Chris, what's up, bro? Any rumors on what's cooking with the Yankees? I mean, they are talking to the White Sox with Cease. They was doing that before the whole Yamamoto situation. So a lot of people want Cease, but you can't just, like I said, you can't just ask for Cease. You got to see if you can you know try to get one of their bullpen pieces too, because a lot of these teams that we're talking about, you can get a starter and a bullpen piece. You might as well do it. Try to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, right now nothing has been rumored by any of the
No,
beat writers or reporters. We're just speaking us ourselves amongst ourselves about where could they pivot, where what names could be involved and stuff like that. We're just giving, I guess you could say, our wish list of what who we would like here. Now that we found out the news that Festivus came early for the Dodgers and the Yankees missed out on Yamamoto here. We also talked about Corbin Burns a few seconds ago, another name that's been rumored to the Yankees a lot. Also, we also spoke about Shane Bieber with Clase, names out there. Man, yes, we are. We are taking. They're going after more starters. Steven, salute, Steven. Thank you for joining
what's
us.
up, Steven?
I guess we could say, I personally myself do not want to see Montgomery back.
No,
I personally don't want to see it. He doesn't, he can handle New York, but I think it's better for him to go on another place, into another canvas. Not repaint on the same canvas again. That's just my opinion. I know we could agree to
no, no. I
disagree on that.
agree. No, I agree. After what Cashman said about the whole picture thing, and
Ooh.
huh,
Well,
I
well, well, oh, well. If they pull that out,
I
whoo,
actually that's actually and
whoo.
look
No, I don't think
and
Cleveland. I don't
I
think
don't like
Cleveland will let him go.
and I don't like bringing color and stuff like that. For him, with the African American, baseball players, they're so limited. He's good because usually when he pitches against us, he kills us.
He's so young and controllable. You
Yeah,
have Will. I think you have a bet. I think Beaver
you the
has a
first
better
person to bring that
chance.
up, Will. You
Yes,
the
you
first
are.
person.
That's the first person I see that name thrown out because I didn't think.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it will be a. To me, it's like a pipe dream, not a pipe dream. Anything can happen. I'm
I
not.
know what you're saying. Yeah.
Again, I'm not. I'm not. I'm calling as a long shot. That's a better one instead of a pipe dream. That's a long shot because, be honest with you, he will. He talk about marketing and the electricity that he will bring for the Yankees. But I don't think Cleveland. I don't think the Cleveland Guardians. Why would you? That's a face you could market and build around with him there, man. But you know what? That's very Will.
Yeah.
That's very
That's good.
intriguing. You talk to me. Talk to me,
And
Will. Talk to me, Will.
and
Because that
Will
got me
and
there.
Will.
Woo.
I'm gonna do some more research on Tristan because, like I said, when me and Kev did games against Cleveland,
Yeah.
he would dominate us, and I got to do more research on him because I wanna see what he throws and what's how he moves when it comes to certain pitches and stuff like that because he is good.
Right. And we said Snell, and Corbin. We mentioned
Yeah.
Steven. Chris likes Snell, but on the amount of years
Hmm.
that he's going to be available with the Yankees. Me again, I say the same thing. Um, Ste Chris, we're like you said, 5 years, right? 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. I ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere past 5.
If you know what, I'm gonna go one. But what do you want for a year? What are you giving him for a year? If you were general manager, 5 years.
Since he won 2 Cy Young, he's got to get a little bit more than Carlos Rodon. I mean, that's only fair. I think
That's fair.
Carlos
I got you.
Carlos is making 27, so
Right.
I'll give him 28.
Okay. All right. I don't know if he'll take it, but even whatever you go 5 years, 30 per.
Mm-hmm.
With an opt out after 2 years, after 3 years, if he wants to opt out, where if he let's say he goes above and beyond, exceeds, he comes to the Yankees, wins a Cy Young award, and as third year he wants to opt out, and capitalize and make a longer term deal elsewhere, or maybe New York isn't for him, if he wants to, you know, that'd be something, 30 for 5, you're looking
150.
150. I mean,
That's not too bad though. I mean, at
no,
this, because look, it's like the grocery stores and everything, inflation. So it's gonna go up. It's just
right,
the point
because
that.
go ahead.
Oh no, because I was about to say, the only why I don't mind Snell too is because the last time CC brought up somebody named Garrett Cole, they produced it in the with the Yankees, and I know him and Snell are real close.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. Usually, I mean, I know it's only one player, but CC's 1 for 1. Why not to say Snell might do good against with us? And I look at it this way: yes, he might be in the older side. Yes, he might get 5 years, 150. But if he wins a Cy Young or a championship with us, that contract is worth it.
Let me ask you this. He's 31 years old now. He just turned 31. 5 years from now, he'll be 36. Do you think he's looking for a 6 or 7 year deal? It looks like
That's
he
what's
might.
killing me. Probably
That's
so.
what's killing
Yeah.
me. That's what is the
Yeah.
that's the issue. He's 31 now, looking for that. That's going to be an issue there. 'Cause Montgomery's also 30 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think Montgomery. I don't think he's going to take. Montgomery will probably take the 5 year, the 4 year deal, not the
Yeah. Yeah. He
7.
might. Yeah.
That's the
He might
deal.
take the 5.
And the one thing that I know everyone's the bugaboo about Snell, he doesn't give you length. He's a short inning. But like you said earlier, Chris, and we're rehashing a little bit. So those folks that listened to us a little earlier, it's not where we're being redundant. It's that we're getting a lot of nice new friends in the chat, and we want to bring them up to speed on that. And my point is, like Chris said earlier, Chris, you were mentioning about the years, the longevity. Go ahead, finish my thought there as we acknowledge the chat.
Yeah. What's up, Ruben? What's up, Donald? Um. Yeah. Like we trying to all the new people that's coming in. We trying to establish what we talked about and what would make sense for the Yankees. I just feel like I'm not going a certain point for Snell. Like I would like him to do the 5 years. I think the money would be right. I just think you might be right. He might be looking for that last big contract, so he might be pushing for that 6 to 7 year. If that's what it takes, I mean, I'm not going past 5. I just feel like he doesn't really have a market. Like I said earlier, the Dodgers don't need him. If he wants to go to a loser team, I guess he can go to the Angels, but I highly doubt that. I think the only real threat to me is the Giants, but it seems like nobody wants to take the Giants' money. I don't know why. They proven they can win. They won more championships in this what the 20 years than most
The
teams.
Dodgers, then the
So
Dodgers, then the
yeah.
mighty Dodgers, and the
So I
mighty
I,
Dodgers.
I can't figure it out. So and that's just like I don't want to bring this name up because we haven't really talked about him, but Cody. Cody doesn't have a market either.
Cody Bellinger, right? Cody Bellinger. But
Yeah.
now, but you know what? I think they were waiting. They were waiting for, again, for we mentioned it earlier. They were waiting for
Hmm.
They were waiting for Yamamoto to be signed, as well as Altani, and then everything got settled because one, Shohei was going to set the market for a two-way player or biggest contract. We knew that, and agents were going to use that as a stepping point as well, and for hitters. And also now with Yamamoto, now agents are going to use that for their pitchers. They know, okay, Yamamoto AVA is going to make $27 million a year for 12 years, the long-term contract. Now we were heard before years past that agents and major league club weren't giving pitchers long-term deals. They were trying because of their breakdown. I'm surprised that all three of the teams yesterday actually went over 10 years. I'm actually surprised the Yankees went 10 years, to be honest with you. I know and because he was 25 years old. How does that affect pitchers like Snell, who's 31, Montgomery, who's 30? and then think about this, ladies and gentlemen, that you're listening to us in the chat. Next year's free agency crop in pitchers a little more greater than this year's. You got guys like Walker Bueller as a free agent, as well as Wheeler for, and of course I believe Burns might or Cease. Which one of those two is going to be a free agent? Or a
Is
Beaver?
Burns.
Burns
It's
and Beaver's
Burns and
going to
Shea
be a
Beaver.
free agent.
Yep.
So look at the plethora of high quality pitchers that are going to be available as free agency. Also, I asked this question, Yankee fans: are we going to blow our load trying to get starting pitchers now? I know we want to get Motos. We want to get Soto signed for a long-term deal, but are we going to really go after some of these pitchers that really want to save some money for the big-time names if we can't trade for them, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, you can think like that. That's why like everybody keeps saying trade for Cease because he has 2 years of control for the cheap. The only reason why I want to trade with Cleveland, it's not just because Shane Bieber with Matt Blake, but Class A. If they really want to trade Class A, why not? We haven't had a close in a while, probably since we got Chapman the first time. So,
Chapman fell on our lap because of that incident.
Yeah.
He was on his way gone to. I think he was going to be a Dodger, if I'm not mistaken, before he did that incident. That just fell on the Yankees' lap. Will, let me ask you this, Will. Would you mind seeing Frankie Montas on a 1-year deal? Severino's money, $13-14 million. Or anyone in the chat, Donald, anyone that's listening to us, what do you think? Yeah, they're going to save money for Soto, but you got to worry about it. Soto is going to test the free agency. I don't think he's going to even. I don't think he's even going to entertain a contract extension. Not Boris. Boris don't do that. I mean,
Well, people also got to realize too, for special occasions, Boris will listen to his client about an extension because he done that with some players. But to say that y'all worry about the money situation, y'all also got to realize too that we have $100 million coming off the books, and then they was about to spend $300 with Yamamoto. So trust me, we got money for Soto. That's not gonna be the problem.
I think if I'm the Yankees right now, I offer a 12-year, $540 million contract for Soto. That's $45 million.
That's a good deal.
That's $45 million right there on the per season. I mean,
that's a good deal. And you also got to do this too, Kev. You don't want to have that Judge situation. I'm not saying extend Soto right now. Wait till maybe the All-Star game and see if you can convince him. You do not want, because I'm telling you right now, he wins the MVP, and God forbid if we win the World Series and he's producing, that 540 is gonna go up.
Yeah,
and you
because
do not want that.
Let's look in a crystal ball. Let's play the what if, the hypothetical. Let's play the hypothetical. Juan Soto comes to New York. He wins the MVP of the American League. Yankees get in the postseason. I'm going to leave it there to be determined. Coming off an American League MVP, his minimum is going to get 12 years, $55 million. That's $660 million for Juan Soto if he does win an MVP with the Yankees, because he did it in the biggest market.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he gets that from the Mets.
I don't think he wants to go to the Mets.
I don't know because
I think if he does go to the Mets, I think Cohen would be crazy, and I feel like he'll offer him a 12-year, $700 million deal. And I feel like he would take that.
That'd be crazy.
It won't be like Ohtani. I think it really would be $700 million.
$58 million a year. But I mean, he could push 60 because that's what they were talking about. 60 million. He could see that.
And he what? He gave what's his name? Scherzer 50 a year.
Just remember
and that's
this.
Just a picture.
Just remember this. The New York Mets, Steve Cohen, and this is those that live in New York, around the Willis Point area, around where Shea Stadium used to be, where Citi Field is. They're rebuilding all that. They're gonna put possibly casinos. They're up taking it. They need a face. They need people, and that will sell itself. But if you have a face like Juan Soto to invest, so people, an attraction, come to the
Mm.
ballpark, go to the casinos, XYZ, they're building their reconstruction, and you have a Juan Soto. And one thing that us Latinos like to do, we like to gamble a little bit. We like to go out there and play, go to gamble, go to, and if there and there's casinos in Shea in City Field, I keep calling Shea, so I'm an old relic, so forgive me, fellas. And they come out to City Field, and that's a marketing ploy. Got to be careful with that. That if you're the Yankees, I would try to get into some contract talk, but I think Boris. I mean, I don't know.
I think
Hopefully they can.
I think if they offer him like a deal that's like, goddamn, we can't walk away, because what if Soto gets hurt type situation. I feel like he would sign the extension, but you got to come correct though. You can't just be like, Soto, look here, you want this 12-year 420 deal? He gonna look at you like, no.
Yeah, and I like what you said there, Will. Jason Dominguez and Juan
Hmm.
Soto are the future, keeping them together. Hopefully they could get along. If we don't remember, we also had two Dominican players in San Diego that couldn't get along, according to report in Tatis and Soto. I'm not saying that. I'm hoping that they get along, that they become besties, they become great friends, and they rally one another with the um just I don't know, sometimes something, there's a saying in Spanish, you can't have two male crabs in one cave because they go too many alpha dogs. Hopefully they get along. I'm not saying Dominguez is
Well,
alpha dog, but I think they'll get along.
I
But you gotta just
I
keep
want
that
to say
eye
this
open.
too. They didn't have Aaron Judge neither. I'm sorry, Soto.
Thank
Aaron
you.
Judge is almost 6'9".
6'10".
Like, come on. I'm sorry. I like you, Soto, but this Judge's team. Hopefully, I don't think it's Soto though. I don't think I
No,
don't
that
think.
was, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Dominguez and Soto is gonna get along well.
And also, I forgot about Machado. There was three
Yeah,
Dominican
Machado.
players.
Yeah, and then you had Bogarts too, another Hispanic player, and I felt like that was just too many, because, like you said, like one of them wanted to be the alpha dog, and it seemed like it was Machado. So that's probably why Dominguez wasn't really mad leaving the Padres.
Soto.
Soto, my bad, Soto, yeah. So I think them two are gonna work out fine, because I
I
mean,
think so too. I'm just putting it
I,
out there
I
as a
think even
hypothetical.
Glaber, I think Glaber is gonna see. I think Glaber, like, even though this is his walk year, I think him watching Soto, I think he's gonna improve his game.
I'm glad you mentioned him. I've said it before. I want to see Glaber this year with a walk year. You know what I always say. Chris knows what I'm going to
Hmm.
say. And for all our new friends that are watching us through Chris channel, of course we're doing a collaboration with both our channels here. Um, I've said nothing motivates a major league player, or even NBA or any professional athlete, when you're about to get that bag, about to get paid, make that generational changing money. They always tend to have a career year. I kind of want to see if Gleyber Torres get back to what we thought he was with the Yankees, even if he walks, ladies and gentlemen, even if he leaves next year and the Yankees have no interest of signing him whatsoever, and he has a monster year. I want to take advantage of that, because we know we have Peraza, we have people in the pipeline that could play that position. We have a plethora of talent to store there. I kind of would like to see what Kleber does on a walk year with all that talent around him in the lineup.
Hmm. I agree with you, because
we got a we got a
look,
Dodger fan. We got a Dodger fan. All right. Hopefully you win
look,
something now, a World
okay.
Series since 1988, man. Because I don't count that COVID one.
Why you don't count that, man?
It's
Look,
only
I know.
60
I'm telling you right now.
games.
I know. I'm telling you right now. We won that. I'm counting it.
Even the Yankees
I'm
would have won. There
sorry.
was there was no fans to boo or cheer,
Hey,
and the
I don't
fans
care.
make a big part of the game, man, of nerves
Hey,
and
if I see a ring,
concentration
Kev,
level.
if I see a ring, it counts for me.
Hey, not all rings are gold, man. They could be look at that one that makes your finger green.
You
That's
talking about
exactly.
Fugazi?
That's a fugazi. That's a fugazi. That's a fugazi title.
Oh man.
The same thing. Look at the Lakers. They won a fugazi title. LA is the fugazi town anyway. They won a fugazi. They won a fugazi NBA title. They won a Fugazi in-season tournament. They won a Fugazi World Series. Come on, man, forget
I
about
don't
it.
even want to talk about that. I'm sorry. I agree with Shaq on this. Why did they put a banner up? That is so.
He just mad. He just mad they didn't put Papa John's as a sponsor. Next.
Oh man, but no man, you can't celebrate an NC. Man, get out of here with that.
Alonzo,
Ruben
this
like
is
the
all
joke.
Alonzo. This is all tongue in cheek. I know. I hope. Well, we'll keep it going. It's all tongue in cheek. I just want to be the contrarian of the lightning rod on the podcast. So hopefully you're not taking it too hard. It takes a lot for a professional team to win a World Series, a Major League World Series, NBA title, Super Bowl. It's something special because you're beating the best of the best. No, it's not salty. I'm being a contrarian because that's what I want to get, that salty reaction from you. That's right. That's exactly what you got. That's called playing to the audience, to the crowd. So thank you, Alonso. We appreciate seeing you there.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, like I'm not hating on the Dodgers. I'm happy. I mean, like I
Yeah,
said, this is what the Yankees used to be. Well, besides the referral money part, but the spending money part, Yankees used to do that. So I can't get mad about that. And
I told you.
The Mets definitely can't get mad.
I told you it's fun for it's fair. It's the rules.
Yeah, it's the
You can't
rules.
beat the rules. I don't listen. I'm one of the ones that don't want a salary cap in Major League Baseball. I don't want no salary cap. I think it ruins
No,
sports. I think that's why the Knicks, the Knicks and the Giants and the Jets can't win shit because the damn salary cap prohibits New York from or the big market teams to actually playing. Getting the right players. I don't want no salary cap. I wish there was no salary cap in football or in basketball. To be honest with you.
and fans need to realize too, it wasn't the Dodgers that came up with this. It was actually
No,
Otani and his
that's
people.
smart. That was smart.
Yeah,
That's smart. I'm not hating on the deferring stuff. To be
no,
honest with you, that's smart because I told you when we did our stream earlier, we did a stream about that because California got some nasty taxes. And
hmm
that's also a reason why a lot of these players don't really want to come to some of these markets. It's those damn taxes. That's where San Francisco, they got a lot of money, but there's a bad reputation and a stigma with San Francisco. They have some beautiful parts. You're not really, if you got money, you're not going to be in the nasty slum parts of San Francisco. But driving through
no.
the city, you kind of see that kind of stuff. It kind of depresses a little bit. But would you trade Spencer Jones? I have to. I'm sorry that this one caught my head here. Spencer Jones for Luis Arise from the Marlins.
Hell yeah,
Ooh. You know
hell
what?
yeah. If Marlins is, if I'm just saying this, if
Isn't
Marlins
he a free
wants
agent?
to trade, no, he's still on the team. I don't know how many years he got left, but
Okay,
he, yeah,
that's a good one.
that that would be a good replacement.
I kind of
But
would like to dangle Spencer Jones to try to get for one of the pitchers. But if you could, man,
and he could replace Glaber. So if you could trade Glaber to them and get one of their pitchers for Glaber, I mean, why not? I mean, he's a leadoff hitter too, and we need that.
and a third baseman
Yeah.
that could play second base as well. Yeah, I mean that's a good one
All right.
there.
Well,
Well, that was the good one there. That's a good one. I like. See, this is what I like about the interaction with the chat. When we get the interaction with the chat, that we see the different names that we didn't even think about at the moment. Because and great minds, and of course, we listen to everyone in the chat. Even if you're a Dodger fan, and you come in, and even even if you're from another team, we acknowledge the chat. We don't ignore the chat. We make you part of the program. We are an audience. We are a chat participation program here. You know, this is what I love about this channel or our platforms. Like other places, it's everybody's prerogative. You could be writing in the chat forever with some good points, and the hosts don't even acknowledge it. They totally ignore it. Not here. Not on the Sports Jedi Network, at least, and of course when I work with Chris the Flash, when he comes on and we collaborate, we don't ignore the chat. We love to hear from the chat, and thank you again.
and I'm not gonna poo poo. I'm not gonna poo poo y'all stuff neither. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that ain't realistic. He's not on the
No,
trade
we'll
block.
listen.
Block.
We'll listen.
You gotta realize if you give up your best prospects to a certain team that a player that's untouchable, trust me, 9 out of 10 times the team will trade that untouchable player. They have to
What
be blown away. It's realistic.
Chris? What did Ted DiBiase? Of course, I do wrestling, so you're gonna get a lot of
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, yeah. Of
You're meeting me
course.
for the first time. I do a lot of
Yeah.
wrestling, that was classic heel earlier, becoming a heel. What does DiBiase say? Everyone has a price.
Yep.
Everyone's got a price. Every team, and also like the Godfather, I made him an offer he can't refuse. I mean, everyone, even for the Yankees, I mean, it goes vice versa
Hmm.
either way. Everyone has a price. There's always a situation where you gotta listen, and that's the smart thing in everything. If you're running a club, you have to listen to all and hear all the proposal. Doesn't mean you have to agree to it. That's all. I mean, I would love Luis Ariz as that
I
leadoff.
know.
My God, because and if you can move Torres in that deal and you give him and something and bring a rise here, oh, that'd be great. But I don't know if the Marlins will give up a rise for Torres, man. But Jones, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so because it's a prominent player where they're going to bring in, they're going to put in and plug in and play in the outfield. And if he's that big and marketable, think about the marketability on Spencer Jones, the big guy out there playing in the outfield. That's like getting another Giancarlo Stanton, but younger. I feel like Cashman is going to pull off a blockbuster. Dodgers got in his ego.
I hope. I hope.
This team is far from done.
Yeah.
I
And
think after this,
people keep forgetting about this too, Kev. Spencer Jones actually pitched too. So if you need, you know how they bring in positional players, just to be pitching, he can give you an inning or two. I'm just saying.
never thought about that. I never thought about that. Chris.
Yeah. And apparently he's working at first too, just in case we have too many outfielders. Apparently he's
Right.
doing some first
I hear
baseman
that.
work.
But think
Yeah.
about it. At 6'10" at first base, what and if he's
No.
flexible and what a target there, and he could pull
Mhm.
out the scoop, but he's not as stiff like Giambi. Although Giambi was good at picking the baseball out of the dirt, but he was a little bit of a stiff. But if this guy has a little bit of flexibility at 6'10" and nothing can get by him, on the picks and stuff, what a weapon to have
Mhm.
at first base. I mean, my goodness. That'd be phenomenal situation there. Don't forget the Yankees got three catchers, and with Luis Trevino coming back off of surgery, of course the young catcher, the lefty. What's his
Wells.
Wells, Austin Wells. There you go. I just
Mhm.
thought of blank. And
I
of
got
course
you. I got you.
you got Ben Roughneck. Now Ben was supposed to be the apple of the eye, was the big center on that trade for kind of Falalefa and Donaldson, that disaster. Could you see Cashman including a catcher to a team that might need a catcher to bring something back?
Guess who needs a catcher?
Who needs a catcher? Who?
The
Who?
Marlins.
I think I see how another assist. I told you I was going to set you up,
Mhm.
point guard.
So I mean, and technically, even though we had 3 in the majors, we actually got 5 on the 40-man. So we got to trade one of them. We have
Okay.
to trade one of them. So I don't know. It does make sense with the Marlins. Marlins looking for a bat. They looking for a catcher. I mean, never know.
The only thing that I'm a little worried, no longer Kim Yim as a general manager making those decisions with the Marlins, where you had a good relationship with Cashman and Kim Yim,
Mhm.
to try to make a move and say, look, I got players in your position of need, and talk to me. Who do you see that financially your team is not going to keep long term? That relationship is not there. It's severed because Kim Yim is no longer part of the Marlins. I don't know what the relationship with the new general manager of the Marlins and Brian Cashman, if there is a working relationship. But again, these things get talked over dinner, golf course, yada yada, in the strip club, at Tootsie's. You never know. You never know what could be hashed out there. Hey, there's a famous one that it was over Scotch. There was a major trade done
Mhm.
on a napkin between Ted Williams
Yep.
and Joe DiMaggio. I mean, you never, so the legend continues. You never know what these deals could get done, Chris. I know the Yankees were rumored for Jorge Soler, and I know you said why.
Yeah.
They have a lot of
Unless unless they know something we don't know about John Carlos Stanton, that he's hurt and he won't be ready. I still it still doesn't make sense to me because I mean you got four outfielders plus you still got Everson Pereira and you still got Florial, which
Mhm.
we still don't know what they're gonna do with him because he's a free agent. But I don't know.
And it
They
shows.
got to make some moves.
It was funny because Florial wasn't picked in a Rule 5 draft. Which a
No.
team, if he was really, and I don't think there's a value with Florial because a team would have picked him up to play on the Rule 5 to bring him aboard. Of course, the Rule 5, if he makes the club, either you keep him on the roster or you send them back to New York. You know that's other rule, or back to the team original grabbed in the Rule 5 draft. But I'm surprised that, like you said, he's still on that roster where you either sink or swim, and I'm surprised on that. And the Yankees keep adding more outfield depth. We talked about the two
Hmm.
Gonzalez that they bought from the Guardians, as well as the one they invited for spring training from San Francisco, Luis Gonzalez. You know, so Oscar Gonzalez and Luis Gonzalez, they both here. They're trying to bring in depth for outfielders because remember they fell short. You know, I don't want to see another year, and thank God he's not here no more. But Willie Calhoun, I mean, my goodness, you know, uh, what the pain that was
And
pain.
and people keep dissing Jake Bowers and stuff like that.
He
Yes,
was
he wasn't
serviceable.
a good outfielder,
No, he was
but
serviceable.
but he was a hell of a first baseman for us, and he was still hitting. So it's like that's why we got two prospects for him with the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, people's like, oh, how Cashman pulled that off? Because Bowers was actually pretty decent for us. Y'all just worried about his defense in the outfield, and y'all
Yeah.
didn't really see the whole entire game that he played.
No, he was good. He was good. And McKinney,
Yeah,
no longer that, and they brought him back and they traded
and
him
it got
away.
some value.
Yeah, and McKinney played okay, but
Hmm.
these guys, you know, the Yankees still finished 82-80, despite the fact that we were frustrated and we were bothered with them, and that wasn't the usual showing. But these guys played all right. It's just we knew exactly what happened last season. Not to we all saw the
Yeah.
film, saw the movie, we saw the season how it played out. Um, any other out of the box I think players that we could see here. I think most of the stuff here with these teams, some of these pitchers that are going to be free agents next winter, we just got to keep an eye out on the All Star break. If the teams start going in the south direction, those are the names that are going to be pushed for trades.
Well, watch out for one name because apparently he might be unhappy. Is Logan Gilbert from the Seattle Mariners. Um, he's young. He's a pitcher. He might want to be traded from Seattle. So
Hmm.
look out for that name.
Well, Gilbert, okay. Yeah, because I was looking at some of these teams. We're not going to trade with anyone in the East. I mean, although look,
No,
we didn't think we were going to trade with the Red Sox.
Boston.
We got Verdugo,
Yeah.
and not for nothing, a name that we have not spoken one bit. And watch him come to the New York Yankees, ladies and gentlemen. Make the club in spring training and be a really good off the bench energy player.
I already know you about to
Peter
say.
Downs.
Yep.
Jeter Downs will probably end up being the Yankee utility, the jack of a trade, playing third, playing second when they need speed, base running from and a glove in the infield. I wouldn't be surprised if they unlock something for Jeter Downs. That's the type of move Cashman gets and finds and brings on the team, and it flourishes. I wouldn't
And
be
and
surprised one bit.
and I want to bring 2 points to that too.
Mhm.
Um, Verdugo, I'm sorry, Boston,
He's
you're
gonna
in
be
trouble.
he's
He's
gonna
pissed.
he's gonna be he's gonna be a
Yes,
badass for the Yankees. I think him.
and
Yeah, I'm excited for him.
and looks like the Yankees won the Mookie Betts trade because we got two people out there trade. I'm just
Jeter,
saying.
Downs, and Verdugo. Yeah,
Yeah.
and listen to this though. The dude already shaved. He didn't even have to
Hmm.
shave yet. He didn't have to wait to go the first day of spring training. The dude is brought all in. The dude looks like and he said he was, you know, his mom loved it. The way he looked. I mean, I heard that press conference because I told you I kind of like Verdugo. I told you even when he
Yeah.
was with the Red Sox, I was like, you know what, damn, Verdugo is a pretty smooth player, man, left-handed, and I remember, and I didn't think he was going to be a Yankee, and you could I don't know which watch along it was because I we do most of the watch along. We did about 75% last year and 95 the year before, and then maybe another 95 the year before that. The point is, we do a lot of watch alongs.
Yeah.
And I remember saying when we were doing the Yankee Boston games before, we were like, man, I would love to see Verdugo. I mean, it never happened because I think they were teasing that, right? They teasing Verdugo's name as
Yeah,
a trade.
him and
Yeah,
Glaber trading.
yes, yes. And I was like, man, I would have loved Verdugo to Yankee Stadium. And I had a little bit of an eye and a little apple in my eye there with Verdugo. And when that trade happened, I was really excited, to be honest with you, because I think it's going to work in Yankee Stadium. Left-handed bat. Um, he's a gap hitter, line drive to me. And I'm not, guys, do not ridicule me, but this is like a Paul O'Neill type of move, kind. And I'm not saying he's going to be Paul O'Neill, but he's going to be that type of move, that impact player, gap to gap, who's going to give it all, feisty, because he's feisty. We saw him with the fans. He's gonna go right away. First game in Yankee Stadium, he's gonna indulge himself to the creature. He's gonna make amends, and he's gonna be a fan favorite. Guarantee
And
you, Verdugo's gonna be a fan favorite.
Kev, because you said Paul O'Neill. Well, let's go a little bit more recent. 2009 championship team. Who you remind you of?
Nick the Dick Swisher.
And look what happened. And fans love Nick Swisher. So I can see
You
that.
gotta give his middle name, the Dick Swisher.
Oh man.
But anyways, yeah, we'll see. Listen, we're gonna end the stream here. Of course, Chris, we're gonna get some lunch, and we got to come back on for some wrestling. So if you like wrestling, we
Hmm.
do wrestling watch-alongs here, the WWE SmackDown version, and then tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock we'll have a Knicks watch-along. New York Knicks take on the Milwaukee Bucks at the Festivus, and then of course Christmas Day on the Sports Jedi Network we have our annual watch-along for the New York Knicks as well, and of course Chris the Flash of doing all different videos and different updates as well. So thank you, Will Star. We appreciate it, man. I hope we see you there more on Chris's channel here as well. And if you like basketball and other ones, come check us out. But always get your Yankee notes and notes from Chris the Flash. Always. And thank you for all the likes. Make sure to like and share and subscribe to Chris and Force Jedi Network. And we appreciate it. And
Yeah,
happy holidays, man. Merry Christmas to you. Chris, close it out, buddy.
all right. If you're not subscribed to Kevin, Jedi Sports, he look, he's a great Yankee content creator. He got me started. He lets me, not even just like a panelist or whatever. Like he lets me say what I need to say, and he doesn't judge what I say neither. Um, I just feel like he just doesn't just talk about the Yankees neither. I mean, he talks about the Jets, the Knicks, the Giants. He talks about wrestling. If you like wrestling, am I missing anything? Oh, his son does MMA sports with Chef Dan. That's good. I joined that program. They let me hop on that. Like he trust me, this would be the person y'all would want to subscribe to when it comes to every national sport or combat sport or boxing. He's good at what he does. So give him a listen, y'all, and I promise y'all won't make the wrong decision.
Appreciate that, Chris. And Chris is part of the channel. He's not just a panelist that comes on as a guest. He part. And when we do a stream, he's there as like he's part of our calls. He has a voice, and like you guys have a voice in the comments. We always tell you guys whatever you write in the comments, we highlight it. We listen to your voice, and if you love to be a panelist, we would love to have you on here. As long just reach out to us on either via the email or in the social media accounts in the private link. I don't like to put the link in the chat due to the fact that you could get anyone come on with certain people will come on and they will come on with a X-rated video, and the minute and the no, seriously, the AI equipped from YouTube picks it up, and it becomes third party, and your channel gets with a strike or gets shut down or even canceled, and we cannot have that. So that's why we ask you to put the link in the chat so we know where we're going to send you and who we send it to, in case we
Hmm.
know what happened. So we want to make sure that, so we that's why we love to have you on as a panelist to come and have a conversation. We love to have conversation with other Yankee fans. And you know what? And I try not to be too crowded with like five, six. I like to have three to maybe four, and we go have a really good debate and a good conversation. And of course, and that's what the chat gets highlighted. You are part of the conversation. So with that said, man, again, Merry Christmas. We'll be seeing you soon, but there's gonna be a lot of Yankee moves, and of course, may the sports be with you. We'll see you next time. Peace out, Yankee fans.